My name is David Davis. I was born in 1948. My parents loved to show me off. I was their first child, and they were proud of me. After a few months, my mom kept getting this feeling that something wasn't quite right with me. She and Dad took me to the doctor. He examined me, then he pulled Dad aside and told him I had Down syndrome, and to take his car and take me to a state institution, and then go home and have more kids. It was like I was a mistake, and that everyone was just supposed to forget about me. Well, Mom and Dad didn't listen to the doctor, but they didn't know what to do. There was so little out there about Down syndrome. Kids like me weren't allowed to go to school with the regular kids, and families who had kids like me kept real quiet about it. It was like we were a secret. Whenever Mom took me to the grocery store or to the park, people would point and whisper. My mom pretended like she didn't notice them. My parents weren't ones to just sit back. They got together with some other families and created Noble School in 1953. I loved going to Noble. I didn't ride a school bus like the neighborhood kids, but the school was a lot like theirs. At Noble, I learned how to print, and some of the kids even learned how to read and write. When I got a little older, I even worked at the first workshop. I learned how to collate and do other kinds of assembly line work. Noble also helped me play sports like basketball and track. But my favorite was bowling, and I was good at it. And when I wasn't at Noble, my family and I would go on these great vacations to Michigan and Florida. But I always couldn't wait to get back to Noble. All the people there were like my family, and I missed them when I was away. When I was 43, things changed. I got Alzheimer's and had to move to a nursing home. I died 2 years later. And while I never got to hold a job in the community or live on my own, I got to do the things that I enjoyed. I knew that I was loved and wanted, and that my parents and Noble had done something really special.
I'm Randy Griffin, and I'm 44 years old. When I was born, my mama said I was just like my two older brothers. I learned to walk at an early age and was starting to say a few words. When I was 1 year old, everything changed. My mom said she came to pick me up from the babysitter after work. She lifted me up for a hug and set me back down, but instead of standing on my own, I flopped forward like a rag doll. Mama was terrified. She called a cab to take me to the emergency room. Mom says the doctors did tests for 3 days, and then they said I have cerebral palsy. They also told my mama that she should send me to a state institution. Even though Mama didn't want to, she and I did go to visit an institution. Mama was horrified, and we left right away. And I've been living at home with her and Dad ever since. I had a pretty good childhood. My little brother Reggie was born before I turned 2, and we've always been pretty close. And the neighbor kids would take me outside to play. I started going to Noble when I was 6 years old. I learned how to read and did lots of art projects, and I can use a paintbrush if you put it in my left hand. When I turned 18, I started coming to Noble's day services and made friends there. But I was ready for more. I always wanted a real job, and Noble agreed. They helped me volunteer at the Children's Museum, and then their supported employment service helped me find a job at a record store. That was the best. I was a greeter there, and the customers coming in were really nice. I used my communication device because it's hard for people to understand me sometimes. And things were great for a couple of months, but the boss told us that the company was going out of business. So I came back to Noble's Community Support Services, and we do some fun things. I sell Avon products, and I volunteer once a week at Garfield Park, but it's not enough. I want to go back to work again. I guess I always felt that if everyone else can work, why can't I?
I'm Gracie Dyke, and I'm 5 years old. I was born with spina bifida, which means I have a hole in my spine. While I was in the hospital, the doctors operated on my head and my back. I'm glad I can't remember that. That would be scary. My parents adopted me when I was 5 months old. They were pretty worried about me when I came home. I couldn't sit up yet, and my doctor said I might never walk on my own. That's when Mom calls Noble. Each week the therapists came over to play with me, except they would never just give me the toy. I had to reach for it or try to stand up. We had lots of fun. They even helped me learn how to sit on my own. Before Mom and Dad were ready, I learned to crawl. Then I got a walker and I could go everywhere. That made my parents tired. When I turned 3, Noble helped me start preschool. The teacher was really nice, and we played blocks and painted pictures. I'm in kindergarten now, and I can read. My mom says I'm very smart. Sometimes I even walk without my walker, if my dad helps me. But one of my favorite things is riding a horse. I ride the horse every week, and I even did a contest last summer. I got my favorite color ribbon. It was pink and purple. When I grow up, I want to be a ballerina, or maybe a singer, or I could be a doctor, or maybe just a giraffe. I can't decide. But Mom says that's okay. I could be whatever I want, because of Noble.
My son wanted a future.
I am the future.